Hello children, this is K. David Brainerd, your English teacher. Hope you're all doing good. Well, in this video, we're going to discuss the Unit 2 of the 8th class textbook, Honeydew. The title of the lesson is The Tsunami. Have you ever seen sea being at rage? Have you ever noticed sea being so turbulent? Have you ever watched big waves? Well, in this lesson, we're going to discuss what tsunami, the worst effects of tsunami upon people. Overview of the lesson, the tsunami. The lesson consists of, before you read, that's the introduction part, reading comprehension, working with the text, words related to tsunami, it's working with the language, speaking part, and writing a poem titled Geography Lesson. This is the overview of the lesson, the tsunami, but in this video, we will focus on before you read, reading comprehension, and words related to tsunami. Let's look at the learning outcomes quickly. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to read textual and non-textual material on natural disasters, especially tsunami, write answers to textual or non-textual questions using appropriate vocabulary, learn values such as courage, care, the bitter struggle for survival and rehabilitation, engage in conversation with survivors or interviews on natural disaster. Finally, use synonyms and antonyms appropriately. Children, let's do this activity before you read the text. Here is a map onto the left of the screen. Now read the sentences below. Identify the incorrect ones and correct the mistakes. The first sentence, Kachal is an island. Is it a correct sentence? Yes. Second sentence, it is a part of Andaman group of islands. Is it a correct sentence? It's wrong. The correct sentence should be, it is part of the Nicobar group of islands. Third sentence, Nancowry is an island in the Nicobar group. Is it a correct sentence? Yes. Fourth sentence, Kachal and Nancowry are more than 100 miles apart. Is it correct sentence? Wrong. The correct sentence should be, Kachal and Nancowry are less than 100 miles apart. Fifth sentence, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are to the west of India. Is it a correct sentence? That's wrong. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are to the east of India. That's the correct sentence. Last question. The Nicobar Islands are to the north of Andaman Islands. Is it a correct sentence? That's wrong. The correct sentence is, the Nicobar Islands are to the south of two Andaman Islands. Well, children, you did really great. Let's move on to the next slide. Before you read the lesson, what are natural calamities? Any idea? Have you ever heard of tsunami? Do you know the meaning of the word tsunami? Just think. Children, here is a beautiful answer for the first question. What are natural calamities? Natural calamities are beautifully described here in this picture. Earthquakes, tornadoes, thunderstorm or cyclone, famine or drought, volcanoes, and the last one, the most dangerous, which occurs in the sea, that is tsunami. Let us see what tsunami is. This picture speaks louder than words. Tsunami is a series of ocean waves that are usually caused by an earthquake or volcanic eruption. These waves can be very destructive, causing widespread damage to coastal communities and infrastructure. Children, let's watch this video clip to understand the intensity and the ferocity of a tsunami. Very terrible. Children, let us listen to the introduction to our lesson.
A tsunami is a very large and powerful wave caused by earthquakes under the sea. On the 26th of December 2004, a tsunami hit Thailand and parts of India such as the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the Tamil Nadu coast. Here are some stories of courage and survival. Did animals sense that a tsunami was coming? Some stories suggest that they did.
Children, now let us learn a few new words. The first word is archipelago. Spelling of the word is Archipelago. Archipelago. The meaning of the word is a group of small islands or an area of sea in which there are many small islands. For example, the Hawaiian archipelago is made up of a number of large islands and some extremely small ones.
Tsunami. A giant or big waves caused by earthquakes or volcanic eruptions under the sea. Tremor. A slight shake. Earth tremors. The earth shakes during an earthquake. Chaos. Complete disorder or confusion. It is pronounced as chaos. Children, now we are going to read the part 1 of the lesson, the tsunami. Listen carefully while I read it for you. These stories are all from the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago. Ignatius was a manager of a cooperative society in Kachar. His wife woke him up at an earthquake. Ignatius carefully took his television set off its table and put it down on the ground so that it would not fall and break. Then the family rushed out of the house. When the tremors stopped, they saw the sea rising. In the chaos and confusion, two of his children caught hold of and mother's brother and rushed in the opposite direction. He never saw them again. His wife was comprehension check. Let's now answer a few questions based on the passage that we have read. Say whether the following is true or false. Ignatius lost his wife, two children, his father-in-law and his brother-in-law in the tsunami. True or false? Correct. It's true. You did a great job. Choose the correct option for the following question. Two of Ignatius' children died because A. They were separated from their parents. B. Ignatius could not hold their hands. C. They had gone in the opposite direction. D. They remained sleeping. Yes, you're right. They had gone in the opposite direction. C is the correct option. That's great. Well done, children. Go ahead. Next, we're going to continue reading the lesson. Children, let's learn a few more new words. Relief helicopters. Helicopters bring help to people during floods. Recede. Move back from where it was. Traumatized. Greatly shocked and distressed. After having learned a few new words, let's continue reading the part 1 of the lesson, the tsunami. Here is a photograph of a brave heart of an Andaman Nicobar police officer named Sanjeev. He sacrificed his life saving others during tsunami 2004. Listen carefully while I read it for you. Sanjeev was a policeman serving in the Kachal island of the Nicobar group of islands. He somehow managed to save himself, his wife and his baby daughter from the waves. But then he heard cries for help. The guest house cook, Sanjeev, jumped into the water to rescue her, but they were both swept away. Here is another episode of 13-year-old girl named Meghna. 13-year-old Meghna was swept away along with her parents and 77 other people. She spent 2 days floating in the sea, holding onto a wooden door. 11 times she saw her head, but they did not see her. She was brought to the shore by a wave and was found walking on the seashore in a daze. Now comprehension check. Children, say whether the following is true or false. Sanjeev made it to safety after the tsunami. True or false? You're right, it's false. Say whether the following is true or false. Meghna was saved by a relief helicopter. True or false? Yes, you're right, it's true. Good job. Well done, children. Go ahead. In the next slide, we are going to continue reading the part 1. Children, let's continue reading the last part of the part 1 of the lesson, the tsunami. Listen carefully as I read it for you. Almas Javed was 10-year-old. She was a student of Carmel Convent in Port Blair, where her father had a petrol pump. Her mother Rahila's home was in Nancovry Island. They celebrated Christmas. When the tremors came early in the morning, the family was sleeping. Alma's father saw the seawater recede. He understood that the water would come rushing back with great force. He woke everyone up and tried to rush them to a safer place. As they ran, hit on the head by something and he fell down. Her father rushed to help him. Then came the first giant that swept both of them away. Almas's mother and aunt stood clinging to the leaves of a coconut tree, calling out to her. A wave uprooted the tree and they too were washed away. Alma saw a log of wood floating. She climbed onto it. Then she fainted. When she woke up, she was in a hospital. From there, she was brought to Port Blair. The little girl doesn't want to talk about the incident with anyone. She was still traumatized. Now, let's check our comprehension. Almas Javed, the 10-year-old girl, was saved. Choose the correct option. A. By her mother and aunts who stood clinging to a coconut tree. B. Because of her father who had sensed the danger. C. By a log of wood floating in the water. D. By a policeman. Your answer. Correct. By a log of wood floating in the water. The word traumatized means, choose the correct option. A kind of a treatment, a kind of a disease, dramatizing a script, greatly shocked and distressed. What's your answer? Correct. Greatly shocked and distressed. Here in this vocabulary part, let's see what does the following words mean. There are three words given here: tsunami, archipelago, chaos. What is the meaning of the first word, tsunami? Yes, you're right. It's giant or big waves. What is the meaning of archipelago? Yes, you're right. It's a group of small islands. What's the meaning of the third word, chaos? Yes, you're right. Confusion. Well done, children. Great job. Well done, children. Let's go ahead.